be sensible. Hee hee hee, I'm never sensible if I can help it. Hee hee hee. Ba-ba-da, 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 ba-ba-da. Hello, huge movie fanatic Nate, stopping on by, continuing my series showcasing retro at this point. Retro DVD releases, the original North American DVD releases of the first Halloween films on DVD, of course. This one is actually 20 years old this year. 1998 was a good year. I guess it was, well, I guess it was the 20th anniversary of Halloween, but we got Halloween 2, Halloween 3, and Halloween 4 on DVD in 1998, and of course 97, the year previous, we got the original Halloween on DVD, and it wouldn't be until 2000 that it would take until 2000 for Halloween 5 to come out on DVD, because I can only assume that this is the very first release of Halloween 5 in North America, because if it wasn't, I would have that. This is the only DVD release of Halloween 5 I own, and I was kind of frustrated because in 2000 Anchor Bay was doing this thing which was really annoying, where I think this is the first DVD release of Halloween 5, and Anchor Bay was put it out in this stupid tin, this limit, what they're touting as a limited edition tin, which, you know, everything's limited, so I always thought that was funny when they do limited editions, but I guess limited editions are more limited than everything else that's limited in the world. They're saying this is number 1,000 or 11,132 of 15,000 tins produced. Came out in 2000 by Anchor Bay, and as far as I know, it's the first DVD release of Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, touted as a limited edition tin. Because if it, you know, as I said, if this wasn't the first release, and the first release had been on a standard, just in a case with the normal frickin' DVD case, I would have got that, because I never have been a fan of this Anchor Bay tin thing that they were doing in 2000, but nonetheless, this is, you know, obviously I wanted the first DVD release of Halloween 5, so I had to get the tin. I would imagine the tin maybe would have cost probably more than just a standard DVD release also. That's probably why they did it, to just scalp the fans or whatever. But if you're into tins, DVD tins, you know, you're in good shape, because here you go. Here's a DVD tin by Anchor Bay. On the back here you've got features, widescreen presentation, 185 to 1. In this case it's enhanced for 16 by 9 TVs. And then you've also got the full frame presentation, and it should be said that's on one disc, both on one side. Theatrical trailer, and unlike their, you know, their presentations of the first Halloween movie and Halloween 4 on DVD, this one actually has got some kind of special features. You've got an introduction by Danielle Harris and Ellie Cornell, Inside Halloween 5, documentary featuring rare behind-the-scenes footage, a cut scene, and interviews with Danielle Harris, Ellie Cornell, executive producer Mustafa Akkad, cinematographer Rob Draper, and Don Shanks, who played Michael Myers. 48-page full-color 5x7 booklet featuring rare behind-the-scenes photos, 5x7 theatrical poster replica, and presented in Dolby Digital 5.1, of course. So here's I've already shown you this, but here's the back of the tin with just a tin and a sticker stuck to it. It's like, yeah, whatever. So then what I hate about this thing, and is it rusting? I want to say that it's like rusting or something, or deteriorating. God, I hate this thing. So opening up the tin, we see the contents. That's your, what do they say, 48-page booklet. And since I'm such a nice guy, I'm actually going to show you every single page. It's going to take, I don't know how long it's going to take, but actually it's more me being just OCD than nice. I can't not show you every page, because I kind of have OCD, but here's the cover of the page, the, the booklet, and the back of the booklet. Before I'll show you the booklet at the end, and here's your little reproduction of your Halloween 5 poster with chapter selections on the back, of course, as you'll see. Chapter selections. And look at how stupid this is. Of course, you've got your Halloween 5 tin, but then you've got your Halloween 5 disc actually in a little designated spot in a CD, standard CD jewel case with a DVD thing on the top. I mean, this is just, I totally not a fan of this at all. CD jewel case with Halloween 5 DVD in it, with a, and then the back is, here's the back. They can't even put anything on the back. So I'm not a big, huge fan of this. Look at this. Inside here, there's like a thing here. Looks like there's a spot for something else, which there's nothing else in there. So I'm not a huge fan whatsoever of this presentation, of course. But now let's get on to the fun part, actually, which will be looking at the entire, I don't think is there any words in this? We'll find out. Halloween 5, I think what they're calling 48-page booklet or whatever. I think it's just photos, but on the cover here it's kind of cool. You've got the slate here is actually being, I was surprised how quickly they made and got this movie out. They were actually shooting Halloween 5 in May and maybe June of '89, and then of course it came out in the theater in the fall. And this is the first Halloween movie I actually saw with my dad at the theater. I actually saw Halloween 5 in the theater. And the first page inside the booklet here, we've got kind of a cool image of, I think it's just pictures in this booklet, which is kind of cool. Danielle Harris just taking a break there in her little movie maker chair. And then you've got this hot, in the second page, turning the page here, you've got this hot blonde chick. And I want to say there's like 4 or 5 pictures of her in this booklet. Like, they really like her. I mean, I can't blame them. A little production publicity still of her there, and a little bit of lovemaking or foreplay here in the barn, and the scene where Michael's taking off the mask for Jamie there. Flipping the page, we've got, I don't know if I like how they merge images together or whatever, but I guess it kind of works. A behind the scenes picture there of, you know, in the barn with that blonde and the other guy, and then Jamie Lloyd breaking through the door there. And on the other page here we've got Michael stabbing Loomis. I bet Pleasance was just so thrilled after 5, thinking it was his last movie. Turning the page, we've got like a full spread here of more with the lovers in the barn here. So there you go. I don't know if that's the director. One can assume. Turning the pages, we've got a picture of Loomis there. And it's really weird, these pictures, how they just like blend them with other pictures, and kind of a goofy expression on this cop's face. Well, actually both of them have kind of goofy expressions, I guess you could say. Danielle Harris as well. Very unflattering pictures there. Turning the page, we've got a full spread here of slate on a, looks like May 30th, 1989, of the cops being killed. Kind of cool. I mean, this booklet is cool. Turning the page, we've got shot of squirting some fake blood on Donald Pleasance there. Jamie Lloyd here hiding from the gardener, what would turn out to be the gardener, and a full page picture of Don Shanks as Michael. I do like the, you know, I just watched Halloween 5 last year, and I was just like, oh my god, that movie just gets worse and worse every year. But I do like the Michael, the mask, the goofy mask in part 5. I do think that's kind of cool. And I like the general part 5 Michael look. But god, the movie, I mean, it just gets like worse and worse. Like, I don't think I'm even going to watch it this year. I mean, obviously it's already past Halloween, but I don't know. I've watched 1 through 4, so maybe I should watch 5. I don't do 6 anymore, because I did 6 last year, and oh god. 6 is just... Anyway, turning the page again, we see Once again, a picture of that blonde at the Halloween party with her boyfriend, and then I hate how this just merges into an image of like Jamie Lloyd, Danielle Harris here. But like I say, a lot of pictures of the blonde, but I guess you can't blame the photographer. Turning the page, we've got, aww, Danielle Harris actually having some fun in between screams, and then Donald Pleasance there. Can we get this over with? And Michael, action shot, busting through the door. Turning the page, full page spread here of the Halloween, or the costume party at the hospital, or wherever the hell that takes place. Can you let me through? Turning the page, we've got, oh, a picture of actual, that cop, what the hell's his name? I don't know. The cop from Halloween 4 and 5, of course, actually smiling. Then like a shot of the scene here from, you know, Loomis showing his burntness. I just watched Halloween 4 recently, and God, the makeup on his face is horrible, and it like changes from scene to scene. The makeup on his face is better in 5, I think. I think it's more, I think it continues the same look, I think, through the most of the movie. I don't know. I'd have to watch it again to see. Changing the page, full page spread of just, I don't know, that behind the scenes or whatever, just whatever, at the children's hospital or whatever. This is the centerfold. Turning the page. This is like a scene which isn't in the movie. It looks like, yeah, this must be when the guy in the trench coat goes in and shoots up the police station. I don't know if they shot footage for it or whatever, but is that the cop who's, you know, the main cop? Why can't I think of his name? And then you've got a shot of poor Danielle Harris doing what she does best on the set of Halloween 4 and 5, and Loomis there, and this other picture looks like, I don't know, Danielle Harris gonna do some coloring with a marker. Changing the page. Once again, image of hot blonde chick with a kitten. And cool ass freaking shot of Don Shanks as Michael Myers. How's that? It's just like, talk about a cool ass picture. Imagine having like a poster of that. And then just behind the scenes imagery with Danielle Harris in her trailer or something like that. We're talking her down from one of many emotional breakdowns as we put this young child through hell making these 2 movies. And once again, as I said, hot blonde holding a kitten, so hot blonde exposing her pussy. Changing the page, we've got an unmasked Don Shanks in the shadows there. Once again, someone working on Donald Pleasance's makeup. Can you get this over with? And our lovely, our most favorite character in all the Halloween franchise here. Picture of Tina wooing the personality with her great personality, wooing the hell out of Jamie Lloyd here in this image. Oh my God. Last year when I watched Halloween 5, I was just like, yeah, Tina's got to go, and she doesn't soon enough. Changing the page. Danielle Harris loves being covered in blood, and just guys standing, waiting around for action down below, and Don Shanks behind the scenes, maskless there. Switching the page, dumping some blood on Loomis's head there. You know, making sure the gash is good, and of course hot blonde once again. You can't blame him for continuing to shoot her face. It's actually pretty nice back in that day. And a really kind of cool image of Michael in the car there we got there in this booklet. It goes on and on and on. Flipping the page, making up Danielle Harris getting the blood and the scarring and all the bruised and battering stuff on her face all figured out. And then Pleasance talking to what we could only assume is the director there, and then shot below here of, you know, Michael and Loomis and most likely director there. Flipping the page once again. I mean, there's never enough. When the blood rubs off Danielle Harris's head, we always have to reapply it because it doesn't last. Because she's got to have blood throughout the entire movie on her head. Full page spread there, changing the. I mean, the pictures go on and on. Turning the page, full page spread of, looks like a shot of when Jamie Lloyd is Cookie woman. And then with the shot of her on the back of this one chick, also integrated into the full page spread. Turning the page, full page spread of just trauma, poor child in trauma. And then on the back, bottom here, I just wonder what's going through Pleasant's mind, like in this shot, like, I hope this is the last time I'm doing this. Turning the page, is this the last page? No, it isn't. Okay, so full page spread, mostly of Michael escaping the explosion at the beginning of Halloween 5, more terrorized Danielle Harris. Turning the page to what I think is actually the last page. We've got cute little picture with boyfriend at the hospital or whatever. Fake dog presumably hanging prop in the attic from Halloween 5, and a candid this is how Danielle Harris really feels about being traumatized at such a young age for the making of these movies. Just comatose. What was Sally Hardesty? Catatonia after the events of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and so is Danielle Harris. I don't know if you guys are still with me. I don't know how long that took, but because I'm OCD and whatever, and also I can imagine watching this video and thinking, oh, I'd like to, and just having someone show the cover of that booklet and just putting it in and just be like, well, what if I wanted to see in the booklet? That combined with me being OCD is the reason I showed you all the pages in the book. So there's no print, which is good for me in this book. It's all pictures, which is cool. So we've got our little DVD and our poster reproduction. In goes the booklet, and then once again the cover of the tin. I mean, how dumb is this? For the very first DVD release of Halloween 5 in North America by Anchor Bay. And like I say, they probably did the tin thing just to up the price. This was I don't know how much this was back when it came out, but I imagine it was more expensive than a standard DVD release. Let's make it a limited edition and charge people more because they're willing to pay for it. But unlike the other ones, as I said, at least this has, like a documentary with some stars and stuff. I don't think they do the commentaries. I don't know when they do the commentaries. I can only assume there's no commentaries on that because it isn't mentioned on the back. But thank you very much for watching this video, and as always, we'll catch you on the next one.